channel, Gem of the Jungle. If you don't know me, my real name is Stephanie, and I am so excited. I have been talking about this YouTube channel for the longest time. By this point that you're seeing this video, I probably have filmed a intro video just to kind of get you acquainted with who I actually am, why I'm making this YouTube channel, what I really have to say, and so on and so forth. But I'm really excited to be here. I've been talking about this YouTube channel for a very long time. I have so many stories of just my life, situations that occurred, good, bad, ugly. Like, this channel is gonna have them all. So this video you're watching right now is going to be a story time on my rehab tech scandal. Now, let me get comfortable for this. So this story is filled with just a lot of ups and downs. I'm gonna try to condense it into a, clear story, but just bear with me. It's gonna be a lot of, back and forth, and I'm just gonna try and give it to you straight. But let's get into it. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm in recovery. I have nearly 2 years clean. May 8th is my clean date. May 2019, I got clean. It is not the first time I tried to get clean, but it was the last. And here we are today, a whole almost 2 years from the time this story took place. And girl, boys, it's just, it was quite an experience. So this time 2 years ago, almost, I was in the middle of a relapse. I had gotten clean. I guess that time it was in July of 2018. I stayed clean up until New Year's of 2019. So from January to May, I was in the middle of a relapse. I was very miserable. I wanted to get clean again, but if you've ever dealt with addiction, or anybody who's dealt with addiction, it is a vicious beast. Like it's not something that you can just snap your fingers and say, okay, I'll never deal with this again in my life. You have to have this deep desire to change, and that's only one of the things that goes into it. There's so much that goes into it, but that's gonna be for another video. So when I decided I had enough, absolutely had enough, like I said, I want to do another story time, I think, of me and just my story in general, and me getting into recovery this time and how it happened and what I did and the steps I took, because that's a story in itself. But let's fast forward to me going to rehab. So on May 7th, 2019, I packed my bags, got in a car, the rehab. I'm not going to say the rehab's name, and I'm not going to say the person's name. I won't say any names in any of my stories. People's privacy I respect, so we're just going to give them nicknames. And, the rehab came in to pick me up, though. That's something that is common with rehab facilities. They will send a car, anything, to come get you. They just want you there, okay? So they came and picked me up on May 7th, 2019, the day before my clean date. In true addict fashion, I got high as a kite that day. I went to rehab thinking, like, this is it, like, this is gonna be my last time, and lo and behold, it was. And I'm still here today. But on the way down, I was high. I used before I went. I remember I wanted like a Black and Mild. I wanted a few Black and Milds, actually. I wanted one for the ride. I'm thinking I'm about to have a grand old time. We're gonna cruise. Now, the rehab facility was down in South Jersey. I am from North Jersey. I am just a few miles outside of Manhattan. The rehab was in South Jersey, okay? The bottom. I was in Atlantic City area. And I'm thinking that the ride down is about to be a good old time. Like, this lady was super nice that was driving me. I'm asking her to pull over so I can smoke my Black and Mild, and coming up with all these schemes, why I need to pull over, why I need to go to the gas station, I need to get something. And then once I got to the facility, I had one more left. And I was like, this is my last high of my life. Like, let me get outside and smoke this, because I had smoked my other one on the way. and I get outside. And if you've ever been to rehab, you know that usually when you first get there, I don't know, this is just for me. Like, I was like, I'm getting clean. My life's about to change. It's about to be a grand old time. I was high. I was feeling like, oh, I'm about to change my life. This is great. Until you wake up the next day and you're like, I'm in rehab. This sucks. Like, but no, I really wanted to change. I had been in recovery before. And I was just like so fed up with living that way that I really had it in my heart that like that was going to be my last time. So I was happy to be there. All jokes aside. So I get outside, right? And when you first pull up to rehab, they're always like, you know, there's always like a big crowd of people, especially the facility I was at. This was pre-COVID times, and it was like May or June. It was, you know, May. So everyone was like outside hanging out. It was warm out. You know, they usually separate the men and the women. So the smoking section for the girls was all female. But to get there, you have to go through like the common room. And there was a bunch of men, women, all mixed in. And when you first get there, they give you a pair of pajamas usually. So I had on my little PJ pants that says, I'm the new girl. And everyone's like, who's that girl? You know, they basically, you know, took me outside. And I, you know, started smoking my Black and Mild, minding my own business. I'm pretty sure I was alone. And some guy comes up to me with the lanyard, so I knew he worked for the facility. And he starts striking up a conversation. We're going to call him Z, okay? That's his name, Z. So he strikes up a conversation with me. Now, I'm not dumb. I knew from the jump. You know, I'm a pretty girl, whatever. He sees me. He probably thinks that, you know, a little casual conversation can't hurt. He starts asking me about my life and saying, you know, what brings you here? Of course. And I'm like, you know, I tell him my little story, like, oh, this is not my first time around, you know, recovery, like, I've gotten clean before, you know, I just messed up, and I'm, you know, getting and staying clean, period. Like, it's not like, oh, my family made me come here, oh, I'm here for court. No, I want to get clean, and I'm going to get clean. So I told him that. And he was like, you know what, good for you, Steph. Like, he's already calling me Steph by my name. He said, good for you, Steph. You know, you'll do great. Like, you'll do big things, all this. And I'm feeding into it. I'm like, okay, he's nice, whatever. It's his job to, you know, breathe life into these clients. A lot of people come into these facilities broken, beaten, miserable, and they're just trying to give you some encouraging words. So I didn't think anything of it. Really, I didn't. He even said, oh, this girl from your area, you two should talk, like, kind of like set us up as friends. And cool, no problem. So I go into my, you know, room, whatever, and, you know, I don't remember if it was the very next day or the same day, because it's a little bit of a blur. You know, you get you on detox meds and stuff, but at some point he comes at me with a note, handwritten note. Now, also, if you've been to rehab, you know that there are no cell phones. There's no exchanging numbers unless you plan to talk in a month when you get out. There's no phones. It's pen and paper only, okay? So if you want to communicate with each other in there, and it's not something that you could talk about, you know, face-to-face around people, you better, you know, get your pen going. So he wrote me a little note. Now, he works there, so he's not like a patient. It's not like he didn't have a phone, but I don't. So the only way he could communicate me is through notes. So he sends me this little note. I'm pretty sure he just handed it off to me one day. And this is not the first time I've been in rehab. It's not the first time I got a note, okay? I think I got a few notes in that facility, actually. Maybe we'll do another video on that. But he handed me the note, right? So I'm reading the note. And I'm reading this note. And, like, he starts talking about some stuff, you know, you're mad cool, you're so cool, you're so easy to talk to, you got a good vibe. I'm like, okay, I know. Tell me more. No, I'm just kidding. So I keep reading it, and he's just going on and on about how I'm so cool, and I'm gonna do great, and, you know, I'm different. He hit me with the, you're different, you're not like these girls. Like, first of all, how do you know, first of all, from a 10-minute conversation? But, you know, I'm not even gonna sit here and play like I didn't, think he was cool, like on the level of friendship and stuff. Like I thought he was cool. Like I wasn't, offended by him trying to talk to me casually as, friends. And that was never the case. Like I'm not here clowning him saying, oh, what the hell is this? But it was a little bit of a surprise to me. So, and the other thing is that, like, as a, you work in the facility, and yes, I understand I didn't come in there, like, it wasn't my longest run, okay? I didn't come in there looking a mess and sounding a mess. Like, clearly I had the mindset at that point of, I'm going to get clean, I'm going to stay clean. But nonetheless, like, you work here, I'm a patient, I am 0 minutes clean. Like, when we started talking, I was high. Like, it is just not appropriate. Like, it is just inappropriate. And I, at the time, I'm not at the place I'm in now, so I'm not sitting here thinking, like, oh, this is wildly inappropriate. I'm just sitting there thinking, like, oh, all right, whatever. He's got a little crush on me, whatever. Like, but looking back on it, the note and all that was just so wild, and he knew that. I worked for that. He could lose his job simply by talking to me beyond the point of recovery only, and definitely lose his job for sending me a note and saying that he likes me, and even alluding, and I wish I could find the notes. I know they're somewhere, so I do have the receipts, but somewhere in there saying that we should maybe be together and see where it goes when I get out. Like, I'm just like, wait a minute, slowly roll, okay? Because I just got to rehab, all right? So how do you even know anything about me? That's another thing. Fast forward, okay? So in the note, he's asking me if I need anything. Like, okay, so another thing about rehab, some people that may be watching this been there, you're not going in there packing your bags like you're about to go on vacation. Like, it's a last minute thing, baby. You throw the stuff in the suitcase. I'm thinking, what do I need? I remember I was high as hell at the Newark Dollar Tree, on the phone with the facility before I went in, saying, like, asking them what time they coming to pick me up, and I'm here buying flip-flops and about to have a nice relaxing vacation, as I'm like, still high, still using, trying to get my stuff together to go. So I had flip-flops from the dollar store, I had some other random stuff, my clothes, and that's about it. I forgot a lot of stuff. I did not have face wash, I had shampoo and conditioner, stuff like that. But I remember I did not have no face wash. So he was asking me, do I need anything? So I was like, I need face wash, okay? I need some face wash. If you're offering, I need face wash. And, I don't know what I wrote back in the note. I really don't remember. I probably was like, thank you so much. Like, just being friendly. I probably didn't have it in me at that moment to set a boundary and be like, listen, you work here. What is wrong with you? And I was probably thinking that was like, some attention that was making my time bearable. Like, let's not lie here. Like, I had a day clean at this point. So anything is like a distraction, you know what I mean? Because it is not easy to withdraw off drugs and, have to completely change your entire lifestyle and give up a whole, whatever you were dealing with before you got in there. It's not easy. So he came at me in a way of like, when I'm at my most vulnerable. So of course I fed into it a little bit. I definitely did not say I wanted to be with him or that anything was going to happen between us. But I said, oh, thank you so much. I need face wash. Face wash, okay. So he gets me the face wash. He got me other stuff too. I mean, cigarettes on top of cigarettes on top of cigarettes. And now I don't smoke, but, in rehab, there's nothing else to do. And everyone goes outside for a smoke break, and everyone mingles outside, and it's like the time to like hang out, relax. Like, you had a rough day of being in rehab and you don't feel good, whatever the case may be. And then even at the end, like, you're almost getting out, like, you're getting nervous. Like, it's like the time to go like unwind. So I do not smoke, so I didn't bring cigarettes. And everyone there smokes. After a while, sister, they are tired of you asking for cigarettes. Hey, can I bum a cigarette? Hey, can I bum a cigarettes? Considering there are about 14, no lie, like smoke breaks in a day in rehab. After every little group, everything you do, you talk to people, cigarette. You eat, cigarette. You do whatever, you have a cigarette. That's what they do. So he kept buying me cigarettes. He brought me candy. He asked me what kind of candy I like. He brought me all that. And as he's like, writing me these notes, they get deeper and deeper. Like, they're getting longer and longer about how he sees me and stuff. And like I said, I was eating it up because I was like, oof, I ain't lose it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So not realizing, like I said, how wildly inappropriate this is. So as time goes on, I mean, there was like this other boy in there who was interested in me, okay? And I heard through the grapevine that like this man that was giving me cigarettes, giving me face wash, giving me snacks, sending me love letters, okay, on some Romeo and Juliet type ish, but it wasn't really reciprocated. Like, first of all, I had a man back at home. Like, it wasn't a serious relationship. And when you're using, it's never no promises of like, we're gonna be together. Like, clearly if I was getting high and dating somebody, not the best idea to continue that relationship. You know, I didn't go in there with a boyfriend by any means, but like, there was no reciprocation of like, we are going to be in a relationship. I mean, I have rehab romance where that was the case, but this was not one of them. So I was just, you know, like I said, going along with it casually. And then I hear through the grapevine of this other boy who liked me that I was actually kind of more feeding into that. Like, I was telling him, like, you know, we were just getting to know each other through notes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember they all came up to me at one point or another and handed me a note. That note is like saying, I like you, shorty. Like, I want you to be my rehab girlfriend. Like, that's what that means. But it's normal coming from another patient. Coming from a person who works there is a complete no-no. Like, so like I said, back to backtracking. I hear through that other boy I'm writing notes with, same thing, like nothing serious, just casual conversation, getting to know each other. You're bored, you're in rehab, like you are just getting clean, you're getting your senses back, your feelings back, okay? So you're talking to people, and he told me, oh, what's going on with you and Z? And I said, record stop, like record scratch. I was like, excuse me? Because he told me, like, you know, obviously, he in one of the notes, he was like, you know, make sure you don't tell anybody that I brought you cigarettes or that I brought you face wash, etc., because I could lose my job. I could lose my job just from talking to you, let alone what I had in those notes. Like, he probably should have told me to burn those notes, because that right there was enough to get him fired with the quickness. And I find out he's telling these other boys that are in the rehab too that we are like an item, or that we are whatever. And let me get one thing straight here. All that going on, we're not a single like allude to any type of contact. Like, there was no kissing, there was no anything. And I kind of got the vibe that he was telling these boys that like that was going on. And that just really threw me for a loop, because one thing that I was big on from the moment, you know, even when I was using, like, you're not gonna disrespect me, talk on my name, and say things that aren't true. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it happened, I will gladly own up to it, because I've always been that way. Like, I'm gonna speak my truth. But boy, like, you know damn well you brought me that soap. You brought me that soap, and you brought me that stuff. And that was all for nothing, because you had some warped idea in your head that we were gonna be together. And now when I confronted him about it, he of course was like, nah, they're hating. He just likes you. He's trying to get you to talk to him and all this stuff. But still, he did not pump the brakes at all. He was still sending me notes and stuff. We were still like, you know, talking through notes. And every time I would see him, he would just be like, you look so good, Steph. Like, you're really like blossoming, all this stuff. Now, mind you, while I'm in there, I'm getting cool with a bunch of the girls, because girl power, okay, period. I'm still friends with a bunch of the girls. Shout out to all my girls that are watching this, that were in there with me. You guys know this story. You know this whole place, because this place, I got stories for days on this place. I could do a whole series on this place. But I was getting cool with a bunch of the girls in there. I was getting cool with the staff as well, other staff members, the women who worked there. There was this housekeeper I was cool with. We'll call her Cece. So Cece and me were cool as well. Very much like a casual kind of, you know, girl, when you're getting out, you know, you're so cute, you're pretty, like that type of stuff. Like, it was mutual. Like, I thought she was nice. She was like the housekeeper, and I'm very respectful to everyone that works in a facility, especially one where I'm trying to get better. So I'm making like, you know, positive friendships with these people, even though I'm never going to see them again. As far as like the staff and stuff, some of the girls I have remained cool with, and we are still friends to this day. But as all this is going on, like I said, I'm just, you know, in my head, like, I really can't believe that, you know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm the only girl in the world he ever like had some like googly heart eyes for, because I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure he took a liking to a bunch of the pretty girls, but I guess he took it upon himself to really reach out and express his love for me, or his like for me, in notes. And I'm not saying, you know, men aren't going to be men, and he probably didn't have an ulterior motive. He didn't want something from me, because that's not the case. I believe that he probably did. But once he saw that that was not happening, and even from the very beginning, he was talking on some relationship terms, like talking about when I get out, we're going to be together. Like, this is just, I would love to find the notes to see if I could add them in to the video. If not, maybe I'll do a part 2 with the notes. But he knew from the very beginning by how he approached me, and how he never also asked for anything like that. Like, he wasn't hinting at us doing something behind the scenes. There was no talk of that. So it's like, he knew that that was not happening. I wasn't giving off that vibe. Like, that was not happening. And he still did all this stuff for me. So I think he was just really trying to prove that he liked me, or he messed with me on that level. To maybe, I don't know, who knows what his full-blown intentions were. I don't even think he knew. He just saw a pretty girl with a good vibe, and he said, I'm about to send her notes. I don't care that she's in rehab. I think she's going to stay clean, and, you know, I want to talk to her. So that was probably his motive. Okay? So fast forward the day I'm about to get out. Now, again, if you've ever been to a rehab, you know, it's like jail or rehab, whatever. You're going to get out the next day, that week. Your heart starts beating a little faster. The anxiety is there, okay? It's very nerve-wracking getting out of rehab, because A, you've been in a safe bubble. You've been in a safe space. You got all this time clean now, you know, a little 30 days under your belt. You have to go back to the real world now. And it's scary. Like, it's just a big transition, getting acclimated back into society, even if it's only for a month. Like, you know, it's still, you're in your little safe haven, and now you're leaving. And then you're also excited because you want to see your friends, and if you got any, because, you know, when you're using, half the time your friends aren't really your friends. But I had made friends in recovery that, you know, I stayed in touch with, that I told I was going away, that were happy for me that I was getting clean, and I was excited to see them. I was excited to start getting back involved in my recovery, like I had done before. So the day comes, I'm about to leave. I remember I'm cleaning up my room, getting my bags packed. The housekeeper's in there. She's like, good luck, Steph. Like, you got this, girl. And I'm just like, thanks, Cece. Like, you know, thank you so much for everything. And, you know, she took care of the room and stuff. So, you know, definitely my whole floor. She had the whole floor and was constantly, like, around. So that was somebody I had seen for the whole month. So said bye to her. She told me good luck, and that was that. Get my bags packed. Now the car's here to bring me home. Same way as they come pick you up, they send you home. So I had some guy from Queens, some guy from like another part in New Jersey, a little bit more west from me. We were all heading up together because they're going to consolidate and put you in one. It's like a Uber X or whatever, Uber pool, whatever. You know, I don't really take Ubers. It's like a Uber pool for rehab, basically. So they sent us home. I get out, right? I turn my phone on, and of course, you know, Z gave me his number with the quickness. He probably gave it to me in the first letter, and then wrote me another letter with his number saying, text me as soon as you get your phone on, text me when you're home, text me when you're on the way, tell me where you're at, tell me what's up, like, you know, stay in touch on your ride home. So I do, okay? And of course, like any good addict, my phone was busted and disgusted. My phone had, it was like a 6S. It had, you know, I could barely use the screen because it was cracked, it was broken, it was terribly broken. So I get my phone on, it's typing itself little messages. Like, I don't know if you ever had your screen so broke that it literally just starts, like, it's possessed and it just starts typing stuff. So that's what my phone was at that moment. I still texted him and I was like, hey, what's up? Got my phone on, you know, I'm on my way home. He's like, all right, good, whatever. Let me know when you get home safe. I'm like, okay, no problem. So I get home, right? I unpack a little and I had to get my phone fixed. A little bit of money that I had, I went and took that stuff straight to Passaic to get my phone screen fixed. Okay, the $50 spot. I'm in there changing my phone screen and whatever. And I get a call right when I get my phone fixed, I believe. I was still in the store. Now my phone's on at this point, and I can see I'm getting a call from a 609 number. And that is the area where I was. In fact, the area code said Atlantic City, and that's literally basically right where I was. Okay, so I'm thinking it's the rehab calling me. What, they want to do a survey? I just left. Like, what do you want from me? So I pick up, and all I hear, now mind you, let me backtrack a minute. Sorry, suspenseful. Let me backtrack a minute. As I'm getting home, he's like, oh, send me a picture, send me a selfie. So you already know my cracked screen, I took a little selfie. I wish, if I can find it, I'll insert it. I sent him that picture, and you know, so he had a little memory of me. It was literally me looking like I had my hair braided, I think, or I just took it out. It was all like wavy. I remember the picture and all. My first selfie, fresh out, sent it to him. Then, okay, fast forward, I'm in the store getting my screen fixed, and I get a call from a 609 number. Now, I know it wasn't Z because I had his number saved. So I pick up. I'm like, hello? I'm thinking it's the rehab, okay? All I hear is Stephanie, real like Stephanie. And I was like, yeah, who's this? I'm like, this is rude. She's like, it's a girl, the housekeeper girl. I'm like, the housekeeper? And I'm like, why are you calling my phone? How is this girl gonna say, why you texting my boyfriend? What is going on? Like, she's in real time having these realizations that the girl who just left the rehab, the cute, pretty girl, she's just astounded, and I am just as astounded. I said, your boyfriend? And in the same time that it's all clicking for her, it's all clicking for me. I said, this bleep writing me these love notes, okay? Talking about he wants to be me, all the candy I wanted. I wanted some soda. He would give me soda. Girl, the soda. The cigarettes. What happened to the cigarettes? And he's in a relationship with the housekeeper. There was no mention of that. She didn't talk about him. He did not talk about her. It just wasn't clicking. It was not clicking. Like, it was not adding up. So, as this is all being said, you know, she wouldn't come at me too crazy because that, first of all, I would not, I wasn't going for that. But she did sound real upset and say, why are you talking to my boyfriend? And I felt bad because, you know, I've been there. I've been that girl, you know? So all I said was, girl, I didn't know. Click, because I don't got no time for that. I do not got no time for that. So I'm just in the store like, what? I still was like, not the housekeeper. Man, he used to come into the room because as techs, they are, you know, male techs have to announce and say male tech before they enter your room. But as, you know, somebody who works there, they have to check on the patients. So when females would come, they would just knock and then they would enter. If it was a male tech, they would have to announce themselves as male. So if you were not dressed, whatever the case may be, if you did not feel comfortable at that moment, you could say, please do not come in or whatever. He would do that, open the door and throw me, I would be sleeping. He would throw me a care package of cigarettes and notes. The note would be tucked in the cigarette. He would get me Skittles or whatever. And he would just throw it and leave. And his girlfriend was cleaning toilets and making the bed that he just, it was just, you could not make this stuff up. I said, this is just my life. My life is, I need to write a book Okay, and this is why I'm here today, to tell these stories, because I was just like, and you know, of course, I asked him, he's texting me, I got my phone fixed now, so now I got time, I could text for real. I was texting him like, what is wrong with you? Like, you got a girlfriend and she works in the rehab, and you are here boo-loving with me? You know, and like I said, nothing happened, like, but that is so out of line if you have a girlfriend. That is so out of line, period, because you work in the rehab. But it is even more so because you have a girlfriend who works here. Okay? Of course, he's talking about that's not my girlfriend, she's crazy, you know. I was just like, I am removing myself from this situation. And that was the end of me and Z, until he checked in with me a few times. I think when I had 9 months clean, maybe a year clean, he was like, Steph, what's up? He would just pop up. He would pop up with a random number talking about it's Z, but he would say his name. And I was just like, he's like, I see you doing great. And in my head, I'm like, how you see me? Like, I guess he would find me on social media and then text me and, you know, just congratulate me, because at the end of the day, I'll never forget our first conversation. He was the first person I talked to when I walked in that place on my clean date. And, you know, I told him I was going to stay clean. And that's just what I did. So he must have seen something in me, and he was right. Regardless, it's not okay. It's not okay if you work in a facility to talk to a patient. That's not what they are here for. And I realize that now. But at the time, I went with it, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I passed the time, and like I said, he was cool. So this is not a diss to him at all. But it was just a crazy story. I said, girl, not the housekeeper. I'm done. I am just so done. But that's my story. That's my rehab tech scandal. You know, I need to do a few more stories about this place, because the stories just, they write themselves, truly. But if you like this content, please like the video, please subscribe for more. I have so many stories. I hope you enjoy, and I hope you guys loved it. Bye.